Good afternoon, everybody. I hope we're all doing well. Sorry, starting a little bit late there. I realised it was on 0 minutes 0 seconds, a bit too late. But still sort of setting up. The flights are just loading up now, but we can begin with the flight planning anyway. So I'll bring us over to the stream side of things. Oh, there you go. There's all your bits and bobs. Have got a stream chat enabled for this one, so it should be good. 1 second. There we go. Just adjusting some things, some pieces and things and bobs and stuff. I'm just gonna see if I can amend the restream chat a little bit here. 1 second. I just don't. I want it to be. I don't know if I want it to be slightly opaque. You can kind of see it on the screen there. I'll just take a look at that for 1 second. Yeah, it's like it goes up with 10%. So that was at 10%. So I'm just going to whack it onto 0. And then we'll copy that over. That should be transparent now. Yeah, there you go. We'll play with that. It's a new thing, so if it needs to be made into, if it needs to be made transparent, or sorry, more opaque, we can do that. Another stream. So the plan for today is just it's not a short flight. It'll be probably about 2.5 hour stream in total with the planning and stuff. But the flight's fairly short for the aircraft we're doing it in, so we're going to be flying the 777, the Boeing 777-200 in BA, and just literally doing a short hop from Gatwick to Edinburgh. I know it's probably not a realistic flight. If it was a real flight, it'd probably be a positioning flight rather than an actual flight with passengers. But hey, that doesn't matter. We'll put some passengers in there anyway. Oh, dearie me. Sorry. Habit now. Sneezing right at the start of every stream. Oh dear. Just one more there. Just for luck. Wow. Amazing. Right. So, PFPX, what we're using now, Professional Flight Planner X, is what you can see on your screen now. So we use that to plan the flight today. Top left here, we've got the flight details. So airline, BAW, British Airways, as you can see there from the drop-down list. Flight number, whatever you like, really. 69. Why not? So from, and this is the, you have to put in here. You have to put the code for the airports you're going to be using. ICAO codes, International Civil Aviation Organisation code. Every airport's got one, 4 letters. All of ours in the UK start with EG and then have 2 other letters afterwards. So Gatwick EGKK, and then Edinburgh is EGPH. And there you go. We've got it connected to Active Sky, which you can see down the bottom here. If you can see my mouse. Can you see my mouse on the screen? No. But right at the bottom, underneath, you can see I'm highlighting that button there, scratch pad. Just below that to the right, Active Sky is there. So that's that is the weather sort of software we're connected to at the moment. So it's giving us live weather, and I can show you it here. Oh, where's it gone? There it is. So there you go. That's Gatwick right now. So that's live. So that the you can see down the bottom here. That bit there. That's the current METAR for the airport. So the METAR is the actual weather right now. So you can see that's saying on the 12th, which it is, 12th of May, at 1:20 Zulu. So it is a bit old. It's a bit out of date. I'll see if I can get a new one. Let me just go to another airport quickly. No, they're all saying 1:20. Maybe they don't update as fast on Active Sky. The most recent one will be with 2:20, so it's about an hour out at the moment, but it's saying variable at 3 knots of the wind, and it's ceiling and visibility okay, and temperature is 12 degrees, dew point -1, and the QNH is 1019. That's the pressure we'll be putting into the aircraft when we're on the ground. But yeah, that's it. So that's what right now that is what PFPX, the flight planning software, is using to determine what runway we'll be using for takeoff and landing. What's it saying for? It's saying 06 to land at Edinburgh. Probably not right, given the wind is 260. Sorry, 280, but it's varying between 26 and 330. So the runway we're using is probably likely to be 24. I'm just going to change that. And 26 left we'll take off on, because 26 right isn't a runway. It is. It's actually a taxiway, but it is also an old runway. They don't use it anymore. They can use it, I believe, if they need to do maintenance on the main runway, but they don't often need to. So that's that bit done. We're a domestic flight, obviously. The tail number, there you go, GZBAV, Zulu Bravo Alpha Victor, 777-200. That's that. That'll fill in automatically. There you go. Minimum fuel for the flight. We'll put time in there, because yesterday, or a couple of days ago, I did another flight just to get back into flight sim, and underfueled us quite a lot. So we'll change that. So payload, we'll put random. Maybe random again. Again? Maybe again. There we go. We've got 286 adults, 9 children, 6 infants. And that's, I think that's pretty close, or it is bang on our maximum allowable. No, it's close. It's not exactly the max. 301 passengers we can have on board. Cargo, you can see there, our 0 fuel weight, which we'll be putting into the computers when we start the plane up. That's that bit done. Fuel, obviously, we've already said. Route, we're going to do up here. So the top right up here, you can see me highlighting that. Find and quick find, just because why not? Quick find, and that's the route. So you can see now we've got a bit more complicated route going in up here, and down here we've got our route. It's highlighted a bit here, and And the first part here is our departure, so the Lambourne 4 mic. So that's the departure from Gatwick that we'll be using. Takes us then to Lambourne. And then the way that flight plans work is I'd like to think of it kind of like motorways or highways and intersections. So we're going to Lambourne to begin with. So that's your intersection, and you get on the highway, which is the UN 57. That's then your highway or motorway. That takes you to the next junction, which is Welling, and then we get on another motorway, UT 420, then to TNT, which is another junction. It gets the kind of analogy gets a bit weird when you get back on the same motorway you've been on before, which again we get back on UN 57, but still. To Pole, which is a VOR, same as Lambourne. UN 601 to Escadoe, and then the Edna 3 Alpha arrival into Edinburgh. At the top again here, I've highlighted there at the top. Find destination alternates, just as it does it for us. So in there it's put Prestwick, Glasgow, NT I think is Newcastle, and NC, I'm not sure what NC is, but there we go. So we've got a few different alternates there, which we won't need because failures aren't. They might be on, but they don't happen. So then we can compute flight at the top. There we have it. So we go to flight plan, and that's what I'll be reading off when we plan the aircraft, or when we set the aircraft up today. Flight time will be at the bottom of... Wow, is it really 48 minutes? Oh, these are the legs. Total flight time is... Oh no, it is saying the trip 48 minutes, yeah. Wow. We're motoring along, that's quick. It's normally an hour and a half. Yeah, fair play. That's pretty speedy. That's all dependent on how we put in the cost index. Cost index is how much fuel the aircraft will burn, sort of. So the higher the number, I think the faster the aircraft will fly. We'll put it on 25 for today. Right, so there we go. There's a plane. So, oh dear, it is laggy. I don't know why. There you go. There she is. A bit of sound for you there. We have got AI involved. Easy. I don't know where the jetways have gone. I think I need to update my Gatwick. There's a lot of things missing. And a lot of old scenery as well. There's a 787 behind us as well. Oh well. It's just a quick one. I haven't played this game, like I said. I think I started it up for the first time yesterday or the day before, for the first time in a while. What we're going to do is go down here to the FMC and set up the panel state to be cold and dark. Execute that. And at the top left you can see there, well actually you can't see it, it's behind the follower goal, but it is saying it's counting down from 15 to initialise all of our systems, or de-initialise I guess you could say, because it's going to make the aircraft completely dead. So there we go, it's all shut down, just like that. All much more quiet out here now. She's completely shut down. So, to get her going again, up to the top, and battery on. We'll get a bit of life into this. We should start to hear some funny noises as she gets herself started up. I'm going to bring these to armed emergency lights. And we should be okay just to go right ahead and start the APU, which is the auxiliary power unit. A little jet engine in the back of the plane that basically powers all the electrics whilst the engines aren't running. So to start, and then it goes back to on its own. So quick start up there. This part's the longest bit though, whilst the aircraft starts to wake up. Once all the power's on, we'll be good to go. I think you can just about hear the turbine starting up, the APU. It's if you look right at the back of the plane, you've got that black sort of outlet right on the edge of the tail where it's kind of straight and where it's all red. You've got that black circle right at the back. That's the exhaust for the APU. You can see right there, sort of in the middle of the screen, that black side of it. That's the exhaust. And you've got this intake above the back of the tail. That's the inlet for that engine. Get back inside, we might see a bit more going on now. There you go. So you'll hear some sirens being tested. I think we just missed that bit, luckily. It is quite loud. So we're seeing the instruments start to come alive. Fans coming on, that's the aircon starting. It's getting a bit louder there. I don't think I've got FS Tramp still here. Good times, good times. I'm wondering if I've got all sods in there. That's the Jetways. Oh. FS Dream Team. GSX. Was it in trial mode? I own it. No, well again, like I said, I haven't played this in a long time, so a lot of stuff might be deactivated. GSX is Ground Services X, so it does what it says really. It adds ground services, so you get stairs up to the plane if there's no jetways or air bridges, and all sorts. The flickering on the screen is again a sim thing. Something else I need to fix, but it doesn't happen too often, so we should be okay. I'm going to turn up. Here we go. Need these displays to come on. I think these are for the lights actually, I could be wrong. Yeah, that is the lights. So let's put them back. No, there is definitely a brightness setting for those panels in front of us. It could be still starting up. Again, the start. Oh, there you go. There's a bit of a flash. It's alive. Whee! There she is. Some more sirens maybe here. Sorry about that. Yeah, there you go. That is purely the plane just testing its alarms and things. Nothing to be concerned about. Don't worry. I need to recalibrate my joysticks. Apparently I'm turning hard right. That's not true. Oh. I think just... I think I just need a new one. Oh, now we've got that powerful forward. We don't. Oh, actually we did. That's a lie. We'll fix that before we go flying, of course. Right, so up here you've got everything the plane's not happy with, pretty much, which we will fix. So our phone, before we go flying, we'll set the parking brake, and just like that. Right. FS actions. So this is where we're going to put in our fuel that we looked at earlier. I'm going to bring it over to the right hand side of my screen on my second monitor just so I can see it all there. So fuel for today was 11,500 kilograms, which is little. You'll see the level percent when I put this in is going to be minuscule. I press tab and then I can type in rather than clicking all the buttons down here. Yeah, 7.9%. So that's that sorted. On payload, we're going to go back to 0 fuel weight at the top of the flight plan, which the plan today is 201.5. I'll do some clicking for this one. 201.5. And that goes in there. And it's going to kind of mimic our passenger layout there. So 147 in economy, 41. We're actually quite full up. So I'll go back here. That's that sorted. We're going to close the doors. But just so I don't forget, we don't actually need them open to board anybody. So, unarm that. The FMC has got these buttons on the right hand side and left hand side are called the LSKs, which stand for, it's an LSK on the left and an RSK I believe on the right, which stands for right and left selector keys. So we're going to go back to the menu here and then click the FMC button just so we get in the FMC. Our nav is out of date, but it matches PFPX, which is the important thing. AIRAC 1707. I think now it's actually 20. It's gone a long way since I've last used it. I think the update now, yeah, it's July 19 was when this nav data was correct. So we're about almost a year off. We'll get a position set up. So in Ref Airport, that's obviously Gatwick where we are now, and gate 52. Now at the top of the overhead panel, at the top, at the bottom, at the right, at the left, at the down, at the left, at the up, at the down, down, right, left, up, down. Where is it? Is it on the top? I've been flying the 747 a minute the other day, and it was up the top. Where are you, damn it? I'm looking for the to align the GPSs. Good day. Where are you? Where is it? Let me put that on. I don't think that's it. It might be it actually. It's definitely not down here. Let's assume that's it. Well, let's put that into it. Asks for it. We can work on the route though in the meantime. Let's do that. What I will do as well, actually. Oh, something's happening. I'm going to change this over to hectopascals and press the letter B. And down at the bottom of our speed altitude tape there, you can see 1019 is now set here, which, as we saw earlier, is the pressure at Gatwick today. So that's good. Now I'm going to whack the hydraulics on if I can remember how to do it in the right order. So I think it's right. And these two. These ones, middle. How are we looking? Oh, oh. What you want is all the lights to go off, and they won't yet because the engine's not running. But the way these aircraft run, in terms of lights being on, is it's like a moonlit configuration. So if there's no lights on, you know you're good to go. That's basically it. If you've got any lights on somewhere, you know there's a problem. So that's how it works. There we go. So that's now aligned. The inertial INS, inertial navigation system, is now ready to go. So I'm just going to put in what our GPS has picked up, just because it's the most accurate part in there. We can go to route now. So origin for today is Gatwick. Going to Glasgow, no, Edinburgh. Departing 26 left from here. Flight number, Speedbird 69. That's the call sign for British Airways, is Speedbird. That's our flight number. I haven't got to request it because we're just putting our own one. Next page. I'm going to put departure in first just so we get the right start point. So departure on the left, the DEP button. Selected 26 left. And then we're going to press next page until we see the Lamborn 4 mic. It might not be in there, but it is perfect. If it wasn't, we just use another Lamborn one, it's fine. Lamborn 4 mic, enter route, next page, Lamborn 4 mic, Lamborn's in there already. So then we know we're going via the UN57 airway here. So via that, and then to Welling. And then via the UT 420 to TNT, and then the UN 57 again, our old friend. Oh, not the 547. UN 57 again to Pole. I don't know what the what POL stands for, but I'll find out. UN 601 then is the via to Escadoe, and that's it. And because we're pretty sure our route's going to be solid today, we can go ahead and go as far as putting in the arrival. So the ILS for 24 and the Edna 3 Alpha. Edna is what we want in there. So just check that's all in. We've got discontinuity there. To clear that, you click on the nearest from the bottom. Was that right? Basically, you've got discontinuity, so you've got those 5 squares there indicating that discontinuity. So the one below, you click it on the right, the button corresponding to it, so you click that. That then brings it down to there, so I click to the CI24, brings it down to the bottom here. And then you press where the discontinuity is, so those 5 boxes, you press the button next to those, and it moves it all up, and just gets rid of it. I believe most real flight plans don't have discontinuities. They're kind of all in there, and it's all right. But I think that is the process for getting rid of them if you do have them. We can go to legs now, and you can see we've got much more detail here. So we've got 7 pages of legs, which just adds all of the headings for each one, and all of the different what's the name for it? Intersections, ISEX. That's basically what they are. These 5-letter abbreviated navigation points, they don't exist besides in GPSs. They're not physical places. So Abevi, Shap, Ergab, Rebelle, Nelsa. They're not Italian, but they're all there. Escadoe, you can see on page 5, and then we've got these legs to do until runway 24 there. So that's that in. If we go to init ref, this is our performance side of things. Cruise altitude today is 34,000 feet. So cruise altitude goes up the top, 340. Cost index, so we're going to do 25. Just to keep us, hopefully, fairly good speed-wise there. 201.5. I may put 4 in. I'm going to put 4 in just to make sure we're the same there. Reserve fuel is 3.1. This is tons of fuel. That's that all in. haven't got orchestral performance, so we go to thrust limitations. We're going to do climb 1. Go to takeoff. Flaps. So the flap lever is on the right here. You can see it there, big button with flap on it. We have flaps 5 for takeoff. That's pretty standard. The flaps 5. Our C of G, if we click on that button, we should get it at the bottom. There you go, 28.2, and then you press it again just to put it in. So that's that. Once we execute the route, and by execute, I mean we activate it. The button's called execute, so we execute the route, and it starts basically. So I'm pretty happy with how that all looks now. If we go on the legs page, we start to get some altitudes popped in on the right. The 5,000, 6,000. Haven't got any cruises yet, but we will get those in once we activate the route. So that all looks good. No discontinuities. I'm just going to check this side again as well. Yep, all good. So activate that. The execute button illuminates. Press execute, and then we're sorted. And you can also see, I don't know if you noticed that change out the corner of your eye. It was not quite on the screen. This magenta line, which curves around at the moment, and then goes off to the right, that became solid. It was dashed before to say it wasn't quite activated. So we go to takeoff again. We can see on the right we've now got our VREF speeds, which is our speeds for takeoff. So V1 is the decision point where you need to decide if you're going to carry on or not. That's 138 knots. We also take off at that same time today. And V2, oh, you can see it's calculating some funny stuff on the screen there. That line was changing all over the place. V2, I forgot what that one is, but it's there. So with the speeds, V2 we put in the indicated airspeed 152, and in terms of altitude, I'm going to put in 360 just so the aircraft will do it all on its own. You can put in, and you would if we were doing this online with VATSIM or something, we'd put in the top of our departure, which is about 6,000 feet, just so we don't bust it before the AEC's cleared us to go above it. The 34,000, all in there, beautiful. I'm going to set the RTO switch here, sorry, the auto brake switch to RTO, which is rejected takeoff. So if I do decide to cancel the takeoff, it will automatically apply full brake for us. That's that all set. So we're going to start the engines in just a sec here. So to do that, beacon light on just to warn people we're starting. Nav lights on. No strobes whilst we're on the ground, or at least not on the runway. So that's all we need right now. You can see there will be a little flashy somewhere. There you go, underneath. You can see it by the engines. There you go. There it is. So that's flashing. So anyone around us on the ground would know at this point, right, okay, he's going to be starting the engine soon. And to do that, I think we're pretty straightforward on the triple. I believe it may just be as simple as even putting on auto starts on. It may just be as simple as putting the fuel on. Oh, sorry. We are getting some temp spooling up here. I don't know if the engine's starting though. I'm going to whack it over to start. As you can see there, N2's coming up now. That dial right here in the middle. And there she goes on the right. So that's our right on your screen, but the left engine of the aircraft is now starting up. Beautiful. Big engines. Trent somethings. Trent 700s. There she goes. I'm sorry about the screen flickering. It is just as annoying for me as it is for you. Right, so that's that one started. And you can see the button flicks back to normal once it's started. Put the right hand one to start. Watch for the end speeds to come up to about 5. Fuel engaged. and that's the start. We can put TCAS on. You can see on our screen there we're getting a warning for TCAS being off. That should be down the bottom here. If I can remember just about where it is. Here we go. So I'm going to put it to TARA. Give it a quick test. Just to make sure. You'll see that will now go off. And we're just getting a fuel pressure warning. That's because... Oh, and also note that the hydraulic panel now... Oh, TCAS test passed. Perfect. You can see now that the... I don't think I put my APU external power on. Oh well, I think it must have done it on its own. You can see that light's now gone off with the right engine started, the generator light's gone off. And the hydraulic lights have also gone off. Here. All this selection of lights right there in the middle of the screen. They were on before the engine started, but now the hydraulic pressure's up and the engines are running, they've gone off. It wants us to press these buttons, so we can do that. That puts all the right fuel pumps on. You can see no warnings, no yellow text in that middle screen now, so we're all good. What I will do is I'll put the packs on to auto. Those lights should go off where it says off underneath once it gets running. Apart from that, there's no lights on, so perfect. Like riding a bike, never forget it. They should go off, I think. What we can do now then is go up here, turn off the APU. And you'll see if we go on to I think it's fuel. No, air. The air. There is one that will show the APU speed as it starts to spool down. APU. Well, I don't know. It normally shows on there somewhere. And this is all touchscreen down the bottom here as well. So we've got a checklist which we could have gone through. Engine, is that what you want? I think it's normally on there actually. Engine. No, on here. Here you go. APU. You can see it's still running at the moment. It's not actually off yet. Oh, now it wants the left fuel pump on. There we go. And you can see the pack lights have now gone off, so that's fine. And the APU will start to run down. It's still running at the moment, I think. But it won't be forever. If we go to FS Actions, we can get rid of the ground connections. So, removed. That makes us all clear. We can push back. Nose to the right, 90 degrees. And we'll just start that.
And ground cockpit. Hi, Captain.
We'll put flaps into 5 as well, just while we're here.
Push and start at your discretion.
Roger that, ready for push. Power and air are clear, doors closed. We are ready for pushback. Please parking brake, please.
We'll put those to auto. Release parking brake, he just asked, so we'll do that.
Parking brake is off, clear to push.
I believe PMDG is an American company, so that's why I've got an American captain, if you like. And we should start pushing back. There we go. So we're pushing back. Again, imagine there's a truck on the front there. I think actually you can put one on. I just haven't. If I go to ground operations, no, maybe not. Yeah, it will take. Oh, we'll see we're turning now. It will take us back 265 feet, which is pretty. Which isn't very long really, but it'll do. As we push back here. So back onto the taxiway. Like I asked it to, our nose goes to the right by 90 degrees. Times in Zulu on that left, that clock here, Zulu time, so it's now behind UK time. That's the time for every aircraft right now in the world, so yeah, pushback's finished, set our parking brake. That was pretty close, we're not far from the yellow line.
Okay, sir, Tobar is on, pin is out, watch the pin on the right.
Alright guys, thanks. You're clear to
I'm going to
disconnect.
zoom in
We'll
with
be
this.
watching for the pin and the release from guidance on the right side of the airplane. And
I'm going to press our LNAV, VNAV buttons here. So this is our lateral navigation. Does it want it? Nope. Apparently not. Why aren't you taking that then? Oh, flight director's on, sorry. Flight director's on, LNAV, VNAV, both in there. So that's your lateral and vertical navigations. So that's going to then take the information from the computer down here to navigate us vertically and laterally to Edinburgh. Once we get airborne, I'm going to fly it manually up until about 1,000 feet, maybe more. We'll see how we get on. And then press the AP button here, and that'll bring in the autopilot completely at that point. And if we go back to checklist on the bottom here, I think if we press these left-hand ones, yeah, so we can put information up here as well that we want. I'm just going to work with the middle screen down here. So, pre-flight, we can actually test the oxygen over here, which we haven't done, but we can test it here. There you go. Oh, lovely bit of oxygen. Flight instruments, that's all set. Flight control switch is cut off. Fuel control, yeah, that's because we need to get back to before. Nope, hang on. Easy Tiger, before taxi. Anti-ice, recall checked. Recall button is somewhere. I think it might be down. Is it? No, it's up here, isn't it? I think. Yeah, recall button. There's one here. So if you press that, and any yellow bits come up, you'll know there's some things you still haven't done yet. So that's fine. Flight controls. Let me just calibrate the joystick now so we can check those. Controls, and then calibration. I just calibrated this again the other day. I need to get a new joystick is simply the answer to this. I'm just going to quickly, joystick's in place. Right, calibrate the device, reset. You can see how much it's flicking like that. I'm not even touching it right now. That's full left, full right. Kind of centers it, but not really. Full up, full down, and there's the throttle set. So, yeah, it's sort of in the middle. We go back here. I can now test the flight controls. I'll bring up my yoke. Here we go. So you can go to the flight controls page, which is the FCTL. And if we look at that whilst I turn my joystick, so full left. You can see all those white bars fill up, and then full right, same again, and full up at the back. You can see those arrows at the back move up, full down, and then right and left. And we're going to bring the trim forward to 3, which is what's been recommended on our takeoff reference page here. As you can see, 3 next to the CG. So we can put this back down now. That's all good. And we can taxi out to the runway. So just a little bit of power. Don't need much with a beast like this. We're going to come around right to, I think this is taxiway Papa, I believe. Papa. Beautiful day. Not a cloud in the sky. see a watch from the ground as well. I believe we should be seeing that tiller move. There you go, on the right. That's how you steer on the ground, that little lever there that's going right and left. Back directly to the nose wheel. Because I'm using my joystick and rudder though, you can see the tail. So the rudder on the tail is moving, which on the ground it wouldn't. There's some more BA planes over there on the right. These ones here with the blue tails are fake. I think that's like a filler airline that the AI software I use puts in when they can't figure out, or they don't have a texture, or for the right company. So you got some TAP, Air Portugal, Aer Lingus, Ryanair down the end, Norwegian, EasyJet. I think that's Norwegian, yeah, there you go. Norwegian, Ryanair, Aer Lingus. Welcome to Gatwick. Taxiing at 14 knots, probably a bit too fast. And just like I remember, back from when I used to play this a lot, and online with air traffic control, probably be recommended to go via Alpha November here, which is this next taxiway on the left. Bit of a sharp left-hander. Oh, we're a bit off centre. There's actually 3 taxiways in this little block I'm on now. If we go outside, I can show you all of those. There we go. So we've got one on the left of our wing. I'm in the middle one, and we've got one on the right as well. And they normally use these to stack traffic that's waiting for departure, I think. Right. So we're going next right. Bit of brake there just to slow us down. Beautiful. Right, I'm just going to stop us here before the runway just to make sure that the pre-takeoff checklist is correct. So checklist, pre-flight, blah blah blah. Fuel control, it keeps going back to that one because I haven't done the full checklist from the start. Before takeoff, flaps 5, perfect. And it'll keep going back to that one, so we'll leave it for the moment. We can go to the after takeoff though, just to see what we need to do once we are takeoff. So after takeoff, landing gear up, flaps up. So that'll all be done by us once we get going. So, getting onto the runway. Logo, well, I don't know if you need it at night time, but we'll put strobe on. All the runway lights to take, sorry, landing lights to take off. Also on, effectively. You can see now, we've got some nice bright lights there in the middle. And then let's get ourselves lined up here with the runway. Oh, wing view. Oh, behind the chair view. Get back, sir. Okay, not a perfect lineup, and you can see there's an aircraft down the end using a 08 for some reason. The wind is not favouring 08 to my knowledge. I'm just going to check that again. EGKK. Oh no, it is. Okay. Perfect. So we are on the wrong runway. Oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. There's one coming to land, so we could have a small accident. But we'll just roll with it for now, because I've ballsed up on that front. Right, so, on the runway, everything's ready to go. So power up to 50%. I'm going to go outside because it just sounds awesome. %. Then you press RTO. Not RTO, that's Toga. So we're rolling. A bit of left aileron here just to keep us level. So V1 and rotate. And there we go, just like that. We are in the air. And gear up. Like a rocket. And flaps up right away.
Traffic.
Yeah, I know. We're going to get a lot of traffic warnings right now because we're taking off into landing traffic. Yeah. So I'm still hand flying this right now. Beginning our right hand turn. So what I'm using right now is in front of me I've got the flight director on that main screen in front of me. That you got those two magenta crosses or lines that make a cross, and I want to keep basically dead center with that cross they're making, and I'm following that now. It's like a sat nav, if you like. You can, I mean, we're basically idling the engines right now, and we're doing 250 knots. We are cruising for a bruising. It's actually harder to fly this in a flight sim than it would be in real life, because it's quite jittery sometimes. So on the nose there you got Red Hill Airfield. So I'm going to press the autopilot button. And there we go. Now it's completely under the aircraft's control. After takeoff checklist complete, of course. And we can basically just turn that off now. That middle screen, don't need it really. We go to init ref. Oh, we'll go to route now, or legs in fact. So you can see now we're going to the Detlin 29, the one in magenta there, and 4,000 is our max height. We're now to Acorn, so we can climb up. And you can see the aircraft's doing that. The vertical speed on the right. So you can see that line's gone up to show us we're about 500 feet a minute. A bit more now. And that number again replicated on top of the screen. So now we're doing 1,500 feet a minute. I mean, it climbs really fast. 2,000 feet a minute. But the climb attitude isn't that aggressive. If you look at it, look. It's a very gentle climb. We've got so much power, it does 2,000 feet a minute at that angle. Quite impressive. So this is the longest part really of the process out the way. So now we're just on our way to Edinburgh effectively. This wheel here that I'm twisting on the top of the screen, this one right here with 10, 20, 40, 80, 116, 280 I think it is on the other side. That's the distance that I can see on this map screen here. So 20 miles out, 40, 80, 160, 280 miles. Now I'll just bring it into about 40 at this point, so you can see most of the departure. You can see the little diamonds on the screen here as well. They are other aircraft. So this one's climbing, but it's 2,500 feet below us effectively. They're probably going to be GA traffic, general aviation, so nothing like us. Bit of haze today, but nothing too terrible. So we start climbing again on the way to the D157J or Juliet, and then 6,000 feet by Lambourne. As I said earlier, if we were online, we would have this altitude here on the panel at the top, which is 34,000. We'd have that to 6,000 feet. Just so we don't go above the max altitude for the departure until the ATC clears us to go higher than 6,000 feet. So I'll say climb to X flight level. You can see the throttle there working away. That's the computer doing all of that, moving these around to manage the engines. It's funny how 250 knots feels quite slow when you're in an airliner. So these buttons on the MCP, it's called the why can't I figure out the acronym? Control panel, multi-control panel, management control panel, MCP. Basically, where you got all your autopilot bits and bobs. If I was to select any of these, I could just do a demonstration for you now. So on the heading. Generally I would be managing this so it stays pointing where we're going in case I need to take control, but I'll point it out to the right a tad, and if I click select, it will now start following that. If I right click if I put LNAV in again, it will then become managed by the computer again, so it will now take control of the heading. Same with the altitude. Now pressed. I'm trying to work out if it's climbing because I asked it to or not. Yeah, so we're going to Lambourne now, so it's climbing on its own. If I was to, I could take LNAV out. We'll see if it goes above 6,000 feet, then we know we've ballsed up, which we have. Because it's now going to 34,000 feet rather than following the flight computer. Oh well. It's not a balls up anyway, we need to go there, so we may as well just climb there now. I don't know if there's a way to get it back to just doing what the correct altitude is for here once you've pressed that button. We're passing 10,000 feet soon, so at that point we can then, yeah, we're going to get these fuel critically low warnings a lot because we are really low on fuel, but that's because we don't need it. So 10,000 feet coming up now, so at that point the landing lights can go off. Start to rocket away from the Earth. Yeah, because when I press the heading, it takes LNAV out, so I can put LNAV back in, and then it'll start following it again, which I guess makes sense, because the altitude side of it is normally all ATC controlled, so, like I said, if I should really set that to 6,000 feet every time, regardless of what I'm doing, so that way if I press it, it will only climb to the max altitude of the departure. Obviously, if I brought this down now, if I brought it down quickly, say to 13,000 feet or 14,500 feet. See how it's leveling out now? Because we can imagine ATC said that, which it wouldn't give you 14.5. So I don't think it would. FMC message. Check altitude target. Yeah, that's because I've gone lower. I don't know if it will go down or not. Oh yeah, it will. No, it won't. So it's thinking, that doesn't make sense. So I'm putting it back to 34,000. Like that. And clear that message now, and then just little tippy tap, and it will resume its path here. And we should actually be just capping out at, actually I don't think we will. Will we? I can't work it out. It's saying flight level 192 at Lambourne, but I don't think that's a cap. I think that's just what altitude we'll be passing Lambourne at. If I go to the progress page there, you can see it just gives us 2, fuel left, 8.3. We have 4.2 left at Edinburgh. I'll be arriving there at 15:15 Zulu, so in about 50 minutes. This arc on the screen here, you can see that green arc that's moving away up to the top. That's indicating the point at which we'll reach our target altitude, and that'll line up with the TC letters here, which is top of climb. That's where we're actually that's our planned point of reaching it, but the arc right now indicates when we're going to do it. You can see that's lit up now. It should have been lit up from 10,000 feet or from 6,000 feet even. I pressed the STD button. Mind out of the gutter, mind out of the gutter. Press that, and then it puts that to standard, which is what STD stands for. And the standard pressure is 1013. So now we're flying on a standard pressure, the same as all the other airliners that might be around us. And that's it. Seatbelt signs are off. Smoking always on. It's all good in the hood. That's Stansted down there. Yeah. Let's say that is Stansted. I think we've got sun visors in here. Maybe not. Have we? I think these little levers, or these... I need to turn my mouse back on, really. So you can see what I'm doing. I might see if I can turn that on. Display capture. Is that what you want? Capture cursor. Oh. Whee! There it is. My mouse now, so I'm going to leave that on just for now, because at least that way you can see what I'm pointing to. See, I was saying these up here, I believe that's where the sun visor would be. You pull that flap down. I'll press the WXR button here. That's for weather. I don't know we've got any of, but it's there if we need it. I can put waypoints on as well. There you go. All the waypoints around us. I can put APRT or ARPT, airport. Shows us any airports near us. Data shows you information around the waypoints, such as time on that one. Position, right there. I think it gives you some info that I can't tell you. So I don't know. Terrain, TERR, sorry, TERR, terrain, there you go. I mean, that was building in a terrain map right below us, which we don't really need. You don't really need that until you're landing somewhere, and that's if it's sort of hilly, and you need that information. The lag is annoying though, I'll be honest. Especially when I haven't flown it since I got my 2080, and then you do fly it with the 2080 in, and it's still quite laggy. It's interesting. Here we are then, at cruise altitude for today, 34,000 feet. There we go. In the cruise, everything's running beautifully. I'm just going to put the fuel information down in that middle panel. You can see nothing in the middle. Total of 7.1 tons, 3.6 in the right, 3.5 in the left. Slight imbalance, but nothing to worry about. If I put the crossfeed on, it might settle that. There you go. I'll cross-feed them just so they hopefully balance out. If it tells us to turn it off, of course I will, but you shouldn't need to. So we're about 0.1 to 100 kilograms less than we thought we would be, so 4.1 now. Our destination. If I go to PFPX on the right, fuel on arrival. I don't know if it will tell me. Fuel remaining. So it's saying 5.5 tons of fuel should be left once we get there. So we're quite a lot under that at the moment. I think that's because we were running the APU for a long time on the ground before we did that. And if we need to, we can cheat and go to the menu here, FS Actions, Fuel, and just change the amount of fuel we've got whilst we're flying. I know, not very realistic, but we can do it if we need to. On this side, I'm going to put in the approach reference. There we go. So we'll do flaps 30. So 30 degrees of flap, that's full flap, and 137 knots. You can see 26 left here is 10,879 feet long. 3,316 meters, so 3.3 kilometers. I'm just keeping it on the route. We shouldn't get any discontinuities whilst we're flying along, so there should be no need to check that. Right, I'll be back very shortly. In the meantime, though, I'll leave you with the aircraft. Don't break anything. And we'll put some music on as well, just whilst we're in the cruise here. Good day. Right. We're back. Sorry to get a drink. My throat's a little bit sore today. I just put a camera up here. In the right. We just saw a plane fly past a minute ago. From left to right. Quite cloudy up in the north of England. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some weather on the radar there. Nope, none. Top of descent, not too far off now. So I'm just going to take a look at our legs here and see what it plans for us. We've got 3,000 feet. And that's like a set altitude at CI24, so we'll put 3,000 in here. And then we'll just give this a click once we get to top of descent if it doesn't start it on its own. I forget if it does or doesn't. I do apologise as well about the screen flickering. Fortunately, not much I can do about it right now, but it is really annoying. I'll put the game sound back in as well. Nope, or not. There we go. Ah, that's some nice apple juice. That's one spicy meatball. So, we're about 25 minutes from arrival in Edinburgh. The weather in Scotland today is quite pleasant, actually, as we can see from this screen here. We're just taking a look at the old EG PH. There you go, nice and not too chilly, not too warm. 13 degrees, 55 degrees Fahrenheit for the American folk on board, and 2 degrees at the dew point. Not that it'll matter to you. Surface wind, quite a blustery 11 knots actually, 280 at 11 knots, and plenty of visibility, well above 10 kilometers there. Beautiful day, no rain, and a nice amount of pressure there of 1015. Hectopascals. So yeah, it's quite a nice day. Looking at the forecast here, we can see it's becoming between 2 and 5, so that's 3 and 6, excuse me, local time, 030, 12 knots, and there's a 40% chance of temporarily between 4 and 8 o'clock local time. The wind will be 010 degrees, 17 knots, gusting 27, 6,000 meters visibility with some rain, and cloud at 1,200 feet as well. So the weather getting a bit worse this afternoon. In fact, right now, actually, yeah, right now, because we're going in at oh yeah, I just figured out actually, yeah. I mean, I knew this the whole way through the flight that we've been on Zulu time, but this morning, oh sorry, I'll say this morning, about an hour ago when we first started this, I was looking at the METAR. Oh my god, that flickering is really annoying. Stop it! Just stop, I say. You. I was saying, oh, it's about an hour out. But of course it's a bloody hour out because it's Zulu time. So that's right. We should have the 450, the 250 Zulu though in there pretty soon. So yeah, between 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock, it's 4 minutes from 4 right now as I do this stream. So we could be heading into some pretty nasty stuff, which would make sense given the amount of cloud knocking around. Stop flickering. Stop it. I say stop it. Stop. Stop it, please. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Oh god, so annoying. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. But I've just got to concentrate here because we're getting to the top of the descent. I want to make sure that the plane starts descending either on its own or with my input. So, we're ready. Once we pass that TD, If it does it itself, great. If not, I'm ready to push the button. Or is it moving back? If it moves back here, I'm going to press it because I think it might think we're not descending yet. Oh. Is it going on its own? The throttles are coming back. Go on, baby. Down you go. Huh? Huh? Is she going to do it? Oh. We're bringing the throttle back. So I would have thought we're looking pretty good for a descent here. It has highlighted the 3000, so that's what I think it's planning for. Come on then, down we go. Whee! And we're descending. Beautiful. That's how you do it. Lovely stuff. Right, so now we need to start looking at the approach side of things. Into... Oh my god. Just behave. Why have you got to keep flickering like that? Right, stats all in. Radio nav. It's got the ILS already set in there, which is perfect. I still want the init ref on that. So 137 knots is our approach speed as we come in. I could have sworn it was 3 kilometers a minute ago. I must have got shorter before. They must be demolishing the runway whilst we're en route. Right, so we can put the we can put this to approach once we get ready for that. You can see it's got this little line here. It is basically, that's the line that we'll be taking up. We'll be following that line in. We'll be doing a left-hand turn around like this, and then onto this line, onto the runway. We'll have like a bar that will be up here, and it will come in as we approach the line. Then we'll turn onto it once it's in the middle, or before that, we'll intercept the line. And then once we're sort of on approach, we'll put on the localizer first, because that'll then centre us to line us up for the runway for arrival. And then once we hit the top of descent, or once we intercept the glide slope, we'll press approach, and then we'll start following that down and onto the runway 24 at Edinburgh. This is good. I'm just going to go on the check these to make sure we're looking good. So Shap's up next. We should be 293 as we pass that. I'm going to take us back off approach so we can see what we're doing. There's Shap coming up here. Go on the screen. Still want to know weather. The weather control is around here somewhere. This is it. Tilt. So we do it on auto. A bit of tilt in there and see what we can find. I don't really know what I'm doing, if I'll be honest, with the old fiddly on here. I'll tilt it down a tad. And maybe whack up the gain some. We'll just see what happens with that. We'll monitor that as we come in. It should be picking up these clouds though, for sure, once we get in. I mean, that is a thick cloud layer. A beautiful cloud layer. But it is thick. Gorgeous. It's a good looking plane, the 777. I used to not like it. Because, Flight Simulator 2004, 2002. I don't know if it was in 2004 or not, the 777. But they did a horrible job. Like, horrible, of modelling the 777. Let's see if I can find it. On here, quickly. FS9. 777. Yeah, there it. Oh my god, it's gross. Hang on, let me bring it in. Oh. Easy, tiger. There you go. Look at the state of it. You see that front end? Look how horrible that looks. Absolutely disgusting. That's how it actually looked. That was the default airline, Orbit Airlines as well. It was massive as well. I think it was too big. Yeah. It was huge. It was good times, man. I like FS9. The smoothest running flight simulator. And you can make it look really good as well. But yeah, they completely ruined the 777. Just look at the state of it. I didn't like the 777 based on what they made it look like. I thought that's how it looked. The engines were too small. The front was all wrong. The rest was okay. Wings and fuselage. It was the 777-300. A really long one. But they completely butchered the front. I mean, look, that's a 777. Look how pretty that thing is. That's not a 777. That's a 777. But these are two side by side. There you go. That's how you do it. That's not how you do it. But hey, it was an early flight sim. What was it, 2004 that came out? Maybe earlier. Back in the days when... Well, it still is the days now, isn't it? When you put out a flight simulator that's... Or a simulator or anything with a year in it, and you put it the year that's coming up. To make it sound like, oh, it's not quite this year, it's next year, so it must be awesome. So it probably came out like 2003. But it was called Flight Simulator 2004 and everyone got really excited about it. It was like, you know, you get a farming simulator 2021. Oh my god, next year? You must be joking. FS 2021 and it's 2020. You must be joking. This must be well good. Obviously no new farming simulator this year though, as we all know, or anyone that's interested in farming sim will know. I need to get a new chair as well. I'll get that next month. I'm spending a bit too much money this month on microphones and what have you. Quite a lot of rock in the old mic boom. Not like a bad amount. It's something only I would notice because I'm a bit OCD about this kind of stuff. But it's a good mic boom. I can't complain. It got a good amount of reach on it. You can get good variation on the height, which you can probably hear now as I'm moving it around all over the place. Locks in place, really nice. I mean, it was 20 quid maybe even less. I mean, I know with a lot of things like this, you get what you pay for. But besides it being a bit iffy on where it locks onto the desk, the rest of it feels great. I haven't got an adapter yet. Is it called a screw adapter or something? The adapter that basically holds the microphones to the end of the boom. Haven't got one yet, so at the moment I'm sitting my snowball ice actually in the cradle for the what would hold a mic normally, like an actual handheld mic. But it sits in there fine, and you can hang it sort of inverted or as I know now the right way up. so you can hang it both ways. So it makes a bit of a spring noise every now and again. But that's fine. It's not an issue for me. So, we're about to pass 20,000 feet. Very cloudy out there. So there we are, with this the black silhouette down here, or the grey silhouette. And I think we're actually going to Tala, but there's Escudo. No, we're not. That's Escudo. No, I'm sure that's in there, TLA, which stands for Tala. We can find out what Pole was. Where was Pole? Pole? Where are you? Pole. I don't know where Pole was. Oh, there it is. Pole stands for Pole Hill. There you go. This is FS Tramp, by the way, that I'm using right now. Don't know why it's called Tramp. Maybe it's an acronym. But either way, great bit of kit. You can basically put in an autopilot to any aircraft using this panel over here. The avionics part. Obviously, in an aircraft like this, where it's like, oh, what's it called? Because PMDG and other manufacturers like this that make aircraft flight simulators like this one, it's got a name for it, where it's so accurate. It's like study level. That's it. Study level simulations. I mean, this is pretty accurate to the real 777. So, in theory, if I was in a real 777, I could fly it, and I believe I could fly it. If it looks anything like this, then I've got it covered. And the same for the 747, and probably the Airbus family, except for the 350. Because that's quite a lot different to everything else, and the 380. Although the 380, I'm pretty sure, would have similarities with the way it operates in terms of the computers. On Airbus, they're called MCDUs rather than FMCs. And they run a bit differently. With Airbus, on the routes page, when you're putting in the VIA and 2, you put it in together down here. So you would put UN601/Escudo and then enter on the right, and it would put it all in. Or you could just put in the waypoints, and I think it will work out the VIA bit for you. It does a lot for you on Airbus. So yeah. But I do like Boeing as well. So I was going to mute this quickly. There we go. Muted for an hour. Yeah, as well, actually, just while I was just looking at the Restream chat there. Sorry to those that commented on the YouTube video yesterday, or the YouTube stream whilst I was streaming SnowRunner yesterday. I do apologise. I'm using Streamlabs OBS now rather than the old OBS. The old one would show me the Restream chat integrated into the OBS, so I could see Twitch and YouTube comments, but it was only showing me Twitch comments yesterday, so I missed those YouTube ones, so I do apologise for that. But I have got the Restream chat downloaded now and visible on my screen, so If anyone is to comment, I've got you covered. I can see you, so I won't miss it again. I'm sorry about that. So here we go then. Right turn to head for Tartan. Let's just check our legs. So 14.2 at this point here. That's good. Tartan will be at 8.718. And then we're on to our sort of final approach phase. We're almost there, guys. I'm going to have a checklist out and just check our... we're still literally on here at the moment because we didn't do any of this. Descent. Recall. I was going to check that quickly. Recall. Nothing. So we can tick that. Notes. Auto brake. We're going to set to 2. Landing data. VREF and minimums. So our speed. VREF speed is 137. It's something let's put that in because it's managed at the moment, but it will know that now. The computer knows what that VRF speed is. And minimums, it will be, I don't know, yeah, something. But we don't need to know that at the moment. Approach briefing complete. Yeah, we're landing. That's good. So back to the normal. That's all done. Landing. So let's go to approach. Altimeters set for approach. They will be. Once we pass 10,000 feet, I'll bring them back to normal pressure, which at the moment in Edinburgh the pressure is 1015. So we're about 8 minutes to arrival. Sorry, 7 minutes now to arrival. I'll be taking control of the aircraft at about 500 feet. I'm doing the landing myself. My first landing in a long, long time. There we go, got some weather coming in now. If we zoom out a bit, you'll be able to see it better. Hopefully, it'll load. It was around here. Maybe not. Oh, there you go. You could just see it coming in. I went in just as it was coming in. Leave it. Wait. You'll see it. There you go. So a couple of clouds there. I believe it shows clouds with rain in. So that's what you've got. Zoom in again. Now if I turn up the gain, what does that mean for the display? Oh, there we go, we're getting some more now. I'll tilt it down some more. I'll put it to 0, what does it do? I'm going to leave it at 0 then, but we'll keep the gain up. Bring us back into 40 miles. In fact, I'll bring us into 20 now. Seatbelt signs, of course, are on. Although they'll be on anyway. Passing 1014 is the pressure now. There you go, you got a ref speed there, 137. And I'll bring us over to approach. There you go. You see that bar I was talking about, which says right now it should actually be up here, I believe, because it's saying right now we're actually to the right of it. We'll see how that works. Landing lights on. Right, let's bring the joystick back up. The stick of joy! So that we can fly this thing in. I'm going to bring it back to map mode just so I can see what our heading should be. Looks like we've got a bit of a weird approach going on here. We're going out. C124. I'm going to get us to go direct to C124 if I can. Execute. There we go. I'm actually going to take manual control of the heading now. I'm going to manually bring us onto the localizer. I'm going to bring the first stage of flap in, so that's going to be your slats at the front. You'll see there, these bits here, moving down, just to increase the size of the wing, give us more lift. So I'm bringing us onto a heading of 042 degrees. For no reason precisely that I'm choosing that exact heading, I'm just choosing it based on what I can see. So this is our line here onto the runway. The runway is going to be down here-ish. So I'm bringing us out here, and then once we get out to about here, or in line with the end of that line, I'm going to turn us to intercept it, and then whack the localizer on. I'm actually going to bring us up to an altitude of about 4.5. No, let's go 4.5. I'm just going to consult with FS Tramp as well, just to see how we're looking. There you go. You can see us here. This is the localizer for the runway. This kind of pinkish sort of. It starts out very thin, gets wider at the end, so that's what we'll be getting into. We'll be intercepting this and following it all the way down to the runway here. Runway 24. So I'm just giving us time. We'll probably wait until we get out, almost lined up with the sort of the coast here, with the sea, and then we'll start our turn in. A little bit bumpy, not too bad. We've got 309, 23 knots. And we're teetering right on the edge of our max speed for our current flap setting. So I'm going to start to bring us round. We're approaching that set altitude now. Start to bring us round. And it's actually choosing to stay at 5,000 right now, which is fine. Just to touch on what I did earlier with setting this, I just clicked the one I want. So CI24 was down here. Getting a message there for cabin being ready for landing. That's good. So I clicked on the one I wanted, which in this case was CI124. It was down here. Clicked it. It came down here, and I pressed it to where I wanted it to be. And then it pressed. And then I execute lit up so that I could execute that new route. Caution. Fuel quantity low. Yeah, I know. It's not actually that low. We've still got. Right, I'm going to press the localizer button here, and we're going to go for the intercept down to 3,000. Bring the speed back here. Another stage of flapping. Actually, no, not yet. A bit too soon. Up at the radio. And we have got the ILS set there, 243. Is our approach heading. You can see the airport over there. That's it. The scenery is loading in as we're coming in. I'm going to bring us down to about 200 knots. put that back to manage now, just because I was wanting to control that whilst we started a descent there. Just to manage the speed as we come in. I'm going to continue to do that actually, just so we can get the flap in here. I've got the localizer set. We can see right here we are to the left of it. It's here. We're now turning to intercept that. The glide slope's this solid magenta diamond here, so we're actually perfectly on that as well. So we could actually whack the approach in once we come into it. I'm going to just give us, there we go, heading of 243. The autopilot's doing that for us now. As we intercept, we're now a bit below it, which is fine. I'm going to keep us at 4,000. Or 3,900 in this case. Bring our speed back again. In the first stage of flap. First full stage here of flaps. That's flaps 5. Gonna bring that speed back again to about 180. And press approach. You can see right now we're actually quite high above the glide slope. So that's now down here. We're on the localizer, perfect. So we're just increasing that rate of descent, and we're coming to try and intercept that approach, the glide slope now. You can see the runway down here. Now we're descending. I'm going to bring the gear down. Another stage of flap there. Right, I'm now going to take control. Doesn't like me taking that out. Right, I need to arm the speed brakes here. There we go. Right. So we're now drifting left of the localizer. So I'm just going to intercept that again. We have got the wind from the right at 18 knots, so that's important too. Auto throttle's still in there, so it's still maintaining that speed for us. That's because I put the speed brake out. That's just to help slow us down here, lose some altitude. We are coming in very fast right now. Okay, I'm making the call to go around. We're getting a warning there because of where my flaps are. Go back up to 3,000 feet. Fuel quantity should be okay. I know it says it's low, but should not be an issue. Why wouldn't it climb up then? There we go. Yeah, no, insufficient fuel. We're fine with fuel. Nav radio is going to be 1089. Invalid entry. Invalid delete? Why don't you shut up? On to 060. I'm just going to stick around at 3,000 feet here. Better to be safe than sorry, I was too high on that, so I'm just going to decide to go around. And bring in stage 1 of flap again. You're always fine, keep your noise down. Right, it doesn't want me to put in the ILS frequency, which could of course be an issue. Right, we can sort it out down here. I don't think we've got a nav radio or not. Yep, shake your noise. So let me put in. These are the speaky radios though, not the navigation ones. I don't think we've got a manual nav radio. Why is it saying park on there for? 108.90. It's not invalid though, is it? Is it? I think because it thinks we should have landed by now. Right, unit ref. Okay, we might have just land this beastie on our own. If it doesn't want to play ball. Let's go around again. Bring it down to 2,500. We'll go to 200. Bring the speed back to 180. Actually, we'll bring it back to 150. Let's just whack it right back. I don't even know if that's put in the localizer because there's no ILS actually inputted. I don't know how we overcome that. Because we can't put in the invalid delete. I can't delete the ILS. FMC com. Oh well, we'll just gear down. Actually see over the over the curving at the moment. Yeah, the gear's coming down. Don't you worry. 243 for the approach.
Radio altimeter.
Yeah, it's fine. Right, full flap. There's the runway. We're much lower this time, so that's good. Autopilot disconnected. We have control. Right, well, 137 is our approach speed. With full flap. Why does it keep fussing about me disconnecting the autopilot? Who cares? No, let's take VNav off. Or not. Suit yourself then. Oh, is that because localizer's still in?
Radio altimeter.
Fuel's still okay. We've got 1.2 tons left and we're on final approach. Let's not whinge. Right, again, doing this visually completely because I don't have the localizer or glide slope in because I can't tune the ILS. I don't know what you would do. There's definitely a way around that because if you were online, you'd be getting vectors back to the ILS if you had to go around. It wouldn't be a manual thing like I just did. So we're looking for 2 reds, 2 whites. Those lights next to the runway on the left. I can actually see these nicely when I'm playing Flight Simulator. You can't see them so well when you're in real life, for me anyway. So we're going to do a bit of crabbing here. Let's see how rudder pedals work in there as we crab the aircraft. Crabbing is where you face the aircraft into wind on final in order to maintain that straight line onto the runway because we've got 16 knots of wind that's variable in front of us at the moment.
1000.
That's our GPWS, that's the ground proximity warning system. We're getting a bit low there, you can see we've got 1 white and 3 reds there. I'm just going to pull up a tad. Everything's still armed and ready to go. There we have it. There's 1 aircraft on the runway, so just bear in mind that we are going to land probably on them. There's also 1 waiting, holding short there too. Bit too high now. You can see we've got 3 whites, 1 red, and 1 aircraft lining up as well. Just ignore that. Bit too high again. You use these lights right up until you're pretty much over the runway and then it's all visual. You can see that's good. And this would all be on the aircraft if we had the ILS still in. Just keeping keeping that picture out the window the same as we land on this aircraft. I hope crashes are off. So now then I'm using pretty much visual reference now
100.
as we get over the runway.
50. 30. 20. 10.
Oh, a bit of a floater. There she is. Reverse. There goes the plane. Bye. 80 knots, reverse off. And there we go, we're in Edinburgh. Welcome, welcome. So just rolling down this taxiway here, which I think is Echo or Foxtrot, if I remember from when I've been here before. You see we've got the air brakes up still. They were automatic, so we can put those down now. And then F5 will bring the flaps right back up. For some reason the ground's not loaded in, so we are apparently taxiing on dirt. That's not correct. See the flaps there retracting. See that weather's starting to come in now though, can't you? Especially over there, that looks a bit miserable. Hopefully this will change back to tarmac soon. Again, I think this is just part of me not having the having played in a long time, and the sim's a bit out of date in places. Just gonna reduce that speed there. Take off the VNav if I can, which I can't. It doesn't matter. Oh, no, it's still on dirt. At least the runway was tarmac, I think. And also bring off the landing lights and the strobe light as well. And we'll start the APU. And if we bring up the engine page, there you go, you'll see this start to run up in a second. That's the APU. There you go, RPM's coming up. So there's the exhaust gas temperature, EGT. That's running. Still on the grass apparently. We'll go and pull in next to one of these stands here. Again, another airport that I need to update because it's got no jetways. That we could call up ATC and ask where they want us. Edinburgh ground 12175 if it lets us. 121. I'm just going to stop us here for a sec. 2175. Okay, well, bollocks to you. It's not about, I think that's a PMGG thing, just because it just won't let anything else have an input, which is fair enough. Oh, are we on tarmac now? Oh, looks like it. No, we're not. We were for a sec there. I'm just going to come right here. I believe when I was flying for Virgin, the A330, now they brought us to one of the stands over here on the right. And the A330 is a similar size aircraft. Not quite as big, but close. Got 900 kilograms of fuel. That will go by pretty quick. That's per side, so we've got 1.8 tons still left, which is a lot less. Obviously, we were anticipating 4.1 tons on climb out from Gatwick, so we've actually lost. We've used quite a little bit more fuel. We're going here, gate 2. The next left. Leave it a little bit before we turn in, and now we start to turn now. That's because the nose wheel, if you look from the outside, is actually behind the cockpit. So we wait a bit before we turn just to try and get ourselves lined up here nicely. And that's not too bad. Not perfect, but it's okay. You would normally have a marshaller or a there we go. Or some airports have like a digital readout here, or it'll show you how close you're getting to that little T at the end of the taxiway line. Right, parking brake on, and then we'll bring up the checklist for shutting down here. We'll go on to the low. Yes, I know. No fuel leak, just underfueled. Right, normal menu and shut down. Hydraulic panel set. We'll bring that all to off. So you'll see a lot of droopy droops. This will start to droop once we take the hydraulic pressure out. So that's all off now. Doot 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 doot. Oh no, you're not happy, are you? Fuel pump's off. Parking brake's already set. And the weather radar off as well. I don't know how you turn this off actually. Bring the gain back to 0. Oh, up here, where it was. I don't know how you turn the weather radar off, but oh well, there we go. Auto brake to off. There we go. And you can see the rudder's gone a bit funny there. That's just because that's how it sits once hydraulic pressure's off. You can see the ailerons here have drooped a bit, and the elevator as well will droop too once we're all shut down. Because we're low on fuel here, what we can do is if we go to and also here as well, we can start again. It's all resets now, so we could do a flight back if we wanted to. It's all back to normal, no route in there, no origin destination, it's all reset. If we go to menu, FS actions and ground connections, we can put the chocks in. You can see there it puts all the cones around as well, and we can connect the air conditioning unit. You want that in, there you go. Air conditioning. Don't need it here because it's Edinburgh. It's not very hot, but we'll leave it on. And put in a ground power unit as well down there. So then we could effectively go up here, choose external power. It's available. We can choose on, and then we can switch off the APU just to save some fuel there. That'll shut down, and then we're just running off the external power unit. Ground operations. I can do a turn type of short. Apparently 55 minutes. What's a long one? An hour and a half. There we go, then we'll leave that as it is. That will just simulate, I think, a ground turnaround. I don't know. Cool the brakes. How does that work then? Does anything come out and cool the brakes for us? I turn the lights off as well. Here, beacon and nav off. APU still running, but that will shut down eventually. I think there is a... I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I did think there was a way to put, like have some ground vehicles to come up. Could refill the fire bottles if we needed to. You go shutting down now the APU. Could open those doors. And also cargo forwards. Apparently cargo aft's already opening. Oh, now we're closing. Open! There we go. Cargo doors open. Disarm. Open. There we go. And with GSX and that ground service X that I was talking about earlier, you could have actually vehicles come up to these and put cargo on, and passengers walk onto the aircraft as well. Well, that about does it, I think. 2.5 hours of total stream time there. I don't know what the flight time was in the end. About an hour and 10, I think, because we overflew a bit with obviously going around there at the end. But yes, I do hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, we'll do some more of this as well in the future. But until then, as always, thanks very much for watching. And stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening, day, afternoon, etc., etc. Much love. And I will catch you next time.